Every NBA team that has had aspirations to be great has had that one player who's a major X factor, despite not putting up big numbers or being top 3 in the offense in terms of pecking order of offensive responsibility. They do the things that don't show up in the statistics that matter just as much as what shows up in the box score. For the OKC Thunder, I believe they found that player when they traded up to the 10th overall pick in the 2023 NBA Draft to select Kentucky guard Cason Wallace. I've been on record saying that Wallace is the best one-and-done defensive guard prospect I've ever evaluated, and he's been great for OKC to start this season, showing why many, including myself, were so high on him going into that draft. But while I believe Wallace is that glue guy for the OKC Thunder as they look to build a contender with their young core, I also think he can be even more than that. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways that can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the 2024 season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Cason Wallace. Through 8 games to start his rookie season, Cason Wallace is averaging 8.8 points per game, 2.5 rebounds per game, and 1.5 assists per game. While these numbers don't look great on the surface, it makes more sense when you look at the context of the team he's on. Among the players who have played at least 90 minutes for OKC this season, Wallace ranks 8th on the team in usage rate. On top of that, he's been absurdly efficient to start this season as well. He's shooting 69.2% from the field, 57.1% from 3, and 100% from the line with an 82.3 true shooting percentage. Now, I don't expect this efficiency to hold, because that's just a ridiculous level of efficiency for a guard to maintain, especially one with the offensive skill set that Wallace does. And I also think the efficiency will dip the more opportunity he gets as the season goes along. But I do expect Wallace to still be a really efficient player. On top of the fact I believe it's possible that he's a 10 to 12, maybe even 13, 14 point per game scorer by the end of the season. Why I believe Wallace will be a relatively productive and very efficient player even as a rookie is the fact that his skill set is very polished and refined as a scorer. He thrives playing off of others and is also capable on the ball as well, which gives him real lineup flexibility and role versatility. On top of that, he doesn't really have any flaws as a scorer. He's a really good shooter, he's a pretty good finisher, he's solid on the ball. I don't think he's someone with elite scoring upside. I'm not saying he's perfect as a scorer. I don't think he's someone we should expect to see averaging 25 plus points per game as this offensive hub. But his scoring skill set is very well rounded, and there aren't many real flaws in his offensive game as a scorer. He fits well with others, and I think the upside for a real offensive contributor is there. I think of Marcus Smart in terms of how I think I'll view Wallace as an offensive player to a certain extent. A very good scorer that plays well within the flow of the offense when not asked to overextend himself. However, I think the big difference is that, unlike Marcus, I think Wallace has much more disciplined shot selection, which will lead to less chaotic offensive stretches and inconsistency like we've seen with Marcus. Wallace is also a very good passer as well. He has good vision, he makes good reads, he's accurate as a passer, his handle's pretty solid, plays well within the flow of the offense. I don't know if Wallace has primary playmaking upside, but I don't think that really matters because he thrives as a connecting playmaker, and with say Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey, once he starts to pick up his play of course. Being a connecting playmaker is what's most ideal for this offense. Guys who can make that extra pass, make reads off catches in off-ball situations, and can also handle an on-ball rep here and there. Those guys are extremely valuable, and I would say that fits the description for what Cason Wallace is as a playmaker. Overall, I would describe Cason Wallace as a reliable offensive player. He doesn't overextend himself when he doesn't have to. He has a well-rounded skill set, and he fits well with this OKC team. I think it's fair to say that Wallace has the upside to be a real impact offensive player in terms of good production and really good efficiency as a complementary piece. But what makes Cason Wallace so special is his defense. His feel for the game on that end of the floor is beyond his years. His motor is incredible. His technique is very polished. He's very physical at the point of attack. He thrives off the ball. He has active hands. He can hold his own on switches. He's a really good shot blocker for a guard. I know the numbers don't show it yet, but I do think those block numbers will start to pick up. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's averaging over a block a game for most of his career. Basically, every tool and intangible you want from a defensive-minded guard, he has. He can defend both guards and wings. He can defend multiple types of players, from on-ball creating guard wings to off-ball shooters. Now, he's not perfect on defense yet. He's still somebody that has his rookie mistakes and has room to grow like all rookies do. But he's clearly a positive impact defender right now, which is rare to say about a guard, especially one that's a rookie and a one-and-done player. Long term, I think this is a guy that you stick on the opposing team's best offensive perimeter player, and he more than holds his own and makes their life difficult. I truly believe that Wallace could be one of the best defensive players for his position in the NBA at his best. Cason Wallace was one of the 5 best defensive prospects in a draft class that I think is going to be one of the best defensive draft classes we've ever seen. And he's easily the best one-and-done defensive guard prospect I've ever evaluated. While I wouldn't say he's been a steal or went lower than he should have, like I usually do with Kentucky guards, I did believe that teams like the Pistons and Magic at picks 5 and 6 should have considered taking him. Now, the Pistons made the right pick. Asar is one of the 3 or 4 defensive players in that draft that I think are better than Wallace on that end of the floor, and he's proven to be one of the most impressive non-volume scoring rookies I've ever seen. And I think Anthony Black is going to be a good player as well. And it's also still early. It's way too early to say this guy was a steal or this guy went too high. But Wallace is proving OKC right by being the first one-and-done Kentucky guard the league didn't overthink and let fall way further than they should have since John Wall. Offensively, I think he could be a 14 to 17 point per game scorer on incredible efficiency, along with 4 to 5 assists per game in a connecting role. Defensively, I think he can be one of the best in the league for a guard. I look at Cason Wallace and don't see a world where he isn't a good NBA player, and I felt that way since he was in high school. He's just too refined and polished on both ends of the floor to believe otherwise. His feel for the game on defense and his high floor on offense were just too much to suggest that he wouldn't work out in the NBA. I know it's been early, but everything I saw from high school to college is showing up on tape in the NBA. I think he can be the next great defensive guard in the NBA, following in the footsteps of guys like Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, and Derek White. In fact, while I don't think it's necessarily a one-to-one comparison, I think statistically it's realistic to believe that Wallace can reach the heights that Derek White has on offense, and I think defensively he has some very similar traits to Drew Holiday. Only time will tell with how good Cason Wallace will be in the NBA, but I have all the confidence in the world that he will be a key contributor on great teams in his career, both with and without stats. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the 2024 NBA season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. I'd love to hear your thoughts about Cason Wallace and how good you think he can be in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.